Hey guys, welcome back from Classic Work. I've had numerous requests out there for me to talk a little bit about how I got my start in running my own business and everything. And to be honest, I've tried filming this several times, and that's one reason why I haven't posted something in so long, is because I haven't liked the way the outcome has come out. So I'm just going to tell y'all as simply as I can. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. If you want more detail, ask questions. I'll be glad to answer any questions out there. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of it, more or less. So, starting your own business. First off, I do not recommend it. It is very, very taxing on you. And the biggest reason that I don't recommend it is there's statistics out there all over the place that I think it's as high as 85% of all businesses, or not all, but most businesses fail within the first 18 to 24 months. And the biggest reason is people overbuy, meaning that whatever their business needs, they buy it, they get into debt, business goes south, and then they can't pay their bills, and then what do you have to do? Close up shop and go get a job. So I don't recommend it, actually. It's very, very tough. It's very, very situational. You can make it starting out from nothing. It's better to try to take over a business that's already got footing. Meaning that, say your dad or your uncle or something like that had a cabinet shop, they ran it for a while and they quit, and all the equipment is just sitting there, and maybe you have experience in it, maybe you don't, and you talk to them and see if you can get into it, and that way that you don't have to go out there and spend, $7,000-8,000 and a place to start a cabinet making business. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, but I'm just saying that it's easier to start off from somewhere than it is to start off completely from scratch. And that is the biggest problem. The other thing is overbuying. I had a guy tell me the dude was absolutely crazy, but he made a really, really good point, was don't buy something unless you need it. Meaning that he had a really good example. When he told me when he needed a 6-foot step ladder, he went and bought a 6-foot step ladder. Whenever you need a piece of equipment, that's when you need to buy it. Don't go out there and spend a ton of money, getting a whole bunch of stuff, and then, like I said before, going to debt. That is the biggest problem that businesses have, is going into debt, and then you're going to lose your business pretty much. So that is some of the biggest advice I would give you. It's tough. It really is. I enjoy it. I have a lot of fun with it because I'm allowed to do so much more other things. But it's tough. I'm going to give y'all 3 things to look into. That way that you kind of have some grounding, some footwork. It's like these people that write these books on how to get rich quick and stuff like that. They're just telling you a bunch of stories. Half of them are made up. A lot of them are not true. And you gain them money by buying their retarded book. Excuse me if anybody's out there has written a self-help book. Not to say that some people do get some gratification out of them, but the ones I've read pretty much said the same thing. You need to invest in booga 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 whatever, it doesn't matter. They're all schemes and plans, and somebody's going to get hurt and somebody's not, pretty much. But working your own business, it's a lot of back-breaking work, is what it is, what it boils down to. You've got to be out there dishing out the work. You've got to hold the paperwork. You've got to force your money out of it. I know that sounds like really, really bad, but that is true. You have a service and you're going to do it for people, and they're in turn are going to give you money for it, or boot, or whatever, however you take it, barter, anything. So, number one thing is have a good plan on what you're doing. Right here, what I do, I am a welder and a machinist, and I do all types of work in mostly the agricultural field, whether it be farming, cattle farming, catfish farming, chicken farming, row crop farming, and dirt work, lake work, pond work, construction sites, anything like that. I work on everything from tractors to implements to bulldozers and dirt pans and excavators and everything like that. And I'm in a very, very good part of, well, in the US at least, of the world that's very, very rural, and a lot of that kind of stuff goes on. So if I were to open up a shop, shoveling snow, I live in Mississippi. That wouldn't work out too good. I'd lose my hat pretty much. So pick a good job for your location, more or less. Second thing is work quality. What you do. Now, granted, customers are going to want you to keep things cheap. Be sure that you set some standards for yourself. If you don't think you can do it for the amount of money they want to pay you, walk away. There's nothing wrong with walking away. And really, the second one really is more customer basis. Your customers is what's feeding you, okay? So you've got to find the customers. That's one of the biggest things. Now, not everybody is a customer, okay? I'm gonna give y'all some hard-earned lessons that I've learned. Just because they have money, just because everybody says they're good folks, doesn't mean that they are. I've worked for people, I've heard good things about them. People thought the world of them, and I have been tricked out of money. I've had people tell me that, after I got done with the job and something that we agreed upon, that they didn't want to do it. And don't get discouraged by that. That's a really, really tough deal there. I have great customers. Some of them I would go out there if they needed me right now. If I got a call right now, I'd go out and do it. They pay good. They're nice to me. I mean, that's what you want, but that's not always what you're going to get. So be prepared for that. Try to stay away from people that want you to do stuff on the cheap, because cheap is not always good, and backwards is true too. Good is not always cheap either. So, anyways, customer basis. So we've covered customers and what you do, pretty much your type of work. Last one, third one, is paperwork. Okay, now I get a lot of questions about this. One, have a format of a ticket that you're going to make. How much you're going to make an hour. If you have a service truck like I do, what you make on a service call. Any kind of special expenses. Maybe you've got to purchase steel or wood or anything like that. You have to add all that together. Travel time. Normally I do a service call, and for the sake of argument, this is not what I charge, but if I did, say $50 a service call within a 50-mile radius. If you go past that, then you're going to have to charge more than that, because you're burning up more tires, more fuel, more oil, whatever it takes to get your vehicle there. So be sure that you take all that into account. Most service calls that I do around here are within 25 to 35 miles. So not real far. I have gone far. I've gone as far as, let's see, normally I've gone as far as 100 miles, and one service call I did was over 600 miles. So it just depends on what you do. So you got to charge out for it. Another thing is too, don't work for your friends, because people are going to think that you're scalping them with prices, but they got to remember that you're offering a service that probably most people don't do. What I do, there are very, very few people that go out and do what I do to the extent that I do. So don't be afraid to charge. Don't undermine yourself. Don't overcharge either. A good, honest, fair price. That's what I've always, believed in. But anyways, back to paperwork. Okay, so ticket format, whatever you're going to do, hourly rate, all that special expenses, all that kind of stuff. Kind of get a formula down. Look some up on the internet, different images and stuff like that to give you a good idea. The other thing is filling out your taxes. Now, depending on what type of service that you're doing, you'll have to do either you'll have to do sales tax, or depending on what part of the world you're in, it may be different. You need to look that up for your own location. But I do know here in the state of Mississippi, I have to charge sales tax for every bit of work that I do, because, you know, other than fixing things or welding things or whatever I'm doing, I'm also selling product, you know, steel or parts or whatever I need, also in there with it. So I know I have to fill out my tax stuff online. I do it once a month and all that jazz. So when you're getting ready for your tax stuff, oh man, this is a deep subject. It goes into a lot of different things, and I can't cover all of them because this video would be 4 hours long. But pretty much, be sure you keep up with your taxes and be sure you charge for them, because you do not want to get in trouble with the IRS. That's a big no-no. They can take everything from you. So be sure that you stay on top of that. Do your research. The other thing is too, I get a lot of people ask about sole proprietorship and LLC. If you're going into business for yourself, and especially if you're a beginner, if you've never done anything like this, don't apply for any kind of sales tax or any kind of working type of anything that's going to make you self-employed. Don't do anything for the first 6 months. Okay? The biggest reason is because once you're in the system, you can get out of it, but it takes just as long to get out as it does to get in. So just work on the side, work for cash, that kind of stuff for the first 6 months. Okay? You'll get a lot of small jobs, stuff like that. And if you don't like it within the first 6 months, you can simply quit. Okay? If you apply for sole proprietorship of your own business and get your business license and all that kind of stuff, if you work for 6 months and then quit, okay, and you stop applying for your taxes or something like that, then they'll start sending you bills in the mail from averages that are pulled off the grid. So you'll be paying money that you don't even owe. So you'll have to reverse the process to get out of it and everything like that. So I recommend that you don't just get your little business started, get the tools you need, just, you know, work little jobs. You know, nobody's going to care that you do that for a little while. But don't stay in that state, you know, because then you need to start, you know, paying your taxes and everything like that. It's good for your Social Security and all that jazz that you pay into. So, and you can get in a lot of trouble, to say the least. But anyways, first 6 months, don't do any of it. See if you're going to like it. If you don't like it, you can quit. If you like it, go ahead and apply for your business license, get you a bank account, a business bank account set up, and then start working on filing your tax, sales tax, and everything like that. And that's pretty much all that is in a nutshell. There's more that you can go into. What I was going to get back to is sole proprietorship and LLC. Apply for sole proprietorship at first, because one, if you run insurance, life insurance or anything like that, I can't remember if it's lower or higher. Somebody in the comments will probably point that out to me. I probably got it dead wrong anyways, but it's a lot cheaper to run sole proprietorship and just back your work. You know, don't do anything dangerous, don't do anything stupid that can get somebody hurt. Just do what you can. You know, do everything right, do everything by the book. LLC, for everybody that don't know what that is, meaning is if you go and work on something, more or less, and say it fails and hurts or kills somebody, that they have the right to sue you and take everything away from you. That means your house, your cars, everything that has value, they can take it away from you. If you have LLC, whatever your business is worth, that's all they can take away from you. So it's good to have when you get more established, but I don't recommend it right off, because you've got to get a lawyer to write up what you're going to do in your business and everything like that, and it's a lot to invest in right away, is my point. And that's another reason, like I said, why businesses fail, is because they're dishing out the money, but they're not getting it back in. So Other thing is too, like you see my shop here, I run a lot of older equipment and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with old. You know, get you some old stuff and fix it up. You can spend half or a third of the money buying the tools, and then put a good bit of time into them and a little bit of money, and you can get really, really good tools out of them. So whatever you need. You know, old's not always the best way to go with certain things, but it's not a bad way to go. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it in a nutshell, the whole business thing. I'm gonna show y'all some clips of stuff that I do on a regular basis and give you an idea of what my job kind of consists of. Maybe it'll give you some ideas to run your own business of your own. So anyways, I hope that cleared up some stuff, and I probably got more questions than I've got answers. But anybody out there that if I said anything wrong about this, correct me, because some of the stuff I don't know 100% about. So do your research, plan really, really well starting your business, and good luck to y'all. If y'all really, really want to get into this, it's a lot of fun, it's a lot of headaches, a lot of crying, but if you can make it through it, it's not a bad way to live. Well, hope y'all enjoy the rest of the video. Well guys, we got a treat this morning. I know that excavator don't look big for me sitting here, but that's a Volvo 210C. That's I wouldn't say it's a big excavator, but it's a pretty big medium-sized excavator. It's 200 horse and it's mean, and it's got a lot of power. But anyways, what we're working on today is, if you can see on that bucket up there, is a hydraulic thumb. And recently I put that on last week, and it's been working pretty well, but it's got one problem with it, is the hydraulics on it will bottom out, and when they do, it'll more or less get the thumb caught. It's like the hydraulics, it bypasses the hose hookup more or less, so it won't actuate. And what's happening is, when it does that, when it bottoms out, it's getting those fittings up against that stick. I don't know if y'all can see those hoses up there, but one of them, I'm surprised at how it hadn't blowed out yet, but it's damaged them pretty good. So we've got to put a lockout more or less on there so it can't bottom out anymore. And that's a really, really poor design. They ought to come up with something to fix that better. But anyways, we're gonna fix it this morning. Hopefully we won't have any more problems with it. I get a lot of requests out there to show a service call, and that's basically what we're doing this morning. And the reason that I haven't really shown many is because my customer basis is pretty, they don't want to be filmed, and I don't blame them, I understand. But this gentleman right here, real nice guy, I asked him about it, and he told me that it was cool, so that's what we're going to be doing this morning. So it's not a real big job, not compared to putting on the thumb. That took some real doing of you know, measuring it out and getting all the spacing right and everything like that. But the lockout, it's going to be just as important, because it's going to ensure the long time survival of this thumb, more or less, and hopefully we'll save him some money in the long run. So it should be good, guys. Stay tuned and we'll see how it goes from here.